welcome. Distinguished guests, our seniors, my dear colleagues, I welcome you to another session of Daastan-e-Mimar. I'd like to thank the leading of the board for making this event possible. Thank you very much for your support and your contribution.
और हमारा एक स्टैंड भी यहाँ पे लगा हुआ है where we have most of the product portfolios available here. So I would request everybody who's present here to have a look at our products and feel free to ask.
Mr. Nasir Iqbal sir, distinguished architects and respected audience, Assalamu alaikum. I am Waqar Shabir, Corporate Manager, Cleaner Decor, Islamabad, and I am here to represent our company in recognizing the achieving a short video providing an overview of our brand and products. I request everyone to please have a close look. Thank you so much and stay blessed.
Good in sketching, an introvert by nature, and groomed by my parents to be honest and hardworking. Introduced to the field of architecture by my neighborhood friend, architect Mahmood, late. Next. So Islamabad main brought up है और उसके बाद when got the opportunity to go to National College of Arts, so I would just go through the memorable teachings and the one which I grasped from Madam Sarima Hashmi to observe deep and see things closely. Sir Said Akhtar, architecture being a form of sculpture, so that took me a long way to treat architecture as a sculpture. Presentations, techniques and value of presentation, architect Nasir Mahmood, he was our class teacher in the second year. Architect Shakil Qureshi, use of appropriate materials and climatology, which I also took along with my school of thought. My subject was the landscape and the interior and exterior spaces, how they need to be connected and be dealt with together. I think it's important that spending 5 years in a city, there is a lot of subconscious learning that's happening, and National College being in a place where we had all the colonial architecture and all, at the same time modern architecture also coming up, and obviously Sir Nail Dada's work was at that time was very impressive and very eye-catching. So my home was in Juar. I used to travel from NCA to Juar. So all the way I could see all these kind of buildings, colonial buildings, the government college, Lahore High Court, and at the same time there was the modern work, the work of Nagir Saad of Greenlands Bank and the Alhambra Art Council. So this the deviation, or you can say the exploration of conventional architecture by Nagir Saad was very eye-catching to me at that time. We belonged to the times when there was no sort of internet or online facility, so we were all dependent on the books and the magazines which we had. So at the NCA library, I was looking at such works, and we all were looking at such works which really fascinated me, and it told me that there is a lot more to architecture than doing geometrical work and following certain conventions. So I was impressed with or rather I was fascinated with the free thinking that was taking place abroad. I was very fortunate to be working with Raj Shaukat Nawaz. Interestingly, I was doing my thesis on Ashafa International, and he offered me a job on that project, and I spent 2 years with him. And what I learned from him was that other than, he was great in conceptualizing projects and was marvelous in detailing of the projects. So I was lucky enough to see that happening. I wouldn't say that I learned it, but it was just being in the environment of or close to Rasa was learning enough in itself. Yeah, but most importantly, I learned the way he enjoyed the field. He was he was very music. He was a music lover. He was an art person. So that's something I learned from him. Office, I joined in '92 and worked with him for 2 years. Since I would remember this sketch, he won a project, P competition of state life building, and this is one of my hand sketches I did for that competition. So that's the building also. So that was the period I was with him. I'm very thankful to you, sir. Then I went abroad to do my master's in UCL, Bartlett. There was a development planning unit, which was a department of Bartlett. My course director was Mr. Jeffrey Payne, and the focus of the MS was architecture in context of urban development, urban planning in the developing countries. They gave us an opportunity to design passive architecture and test our projects in simulation laboratories. The urban planning and development was also a major focus in that course. My home area, I used to live in, obviously, the Thames skyline, the kind of environment for 1 year or 2 years I was there for. And then there was a project of UCL, international project, which they took us to Morocco for 1 month, and the project was urban development plan of a town called Goreye. And but before that, they took us all over the country, and we were able to see the works done there, and it was very inspiring as well. Please next. So during my vacations, I went to a couple of countries, and because that's the age where you are quite receptive to the works and to architecture after completing your MS. So in US, I was fascinated by the simplicity of few of the structures and designs that you could see here. Empires, National Art Gallery, the simplicity of Washington Monument and all. In France, the La Défense, it's a building where the form is obviously dictating it. Louvre, you all know. So just the influences that I had before I ventured my own practice. Please. Aage. So after coming back, I started a practice with the architect Tariq Mahmood. He was my class fellow in UCL, and at that time you want to determine yourself. You want to know what you want to do, whether to explore yourself and express yourself, or follow a path which is already established. But the nature that I was, I just wanted to do something which I felt like doing. So this is sort of one of the first work. You would see that this is a house made in 1995, the first house. You would see the influences of the offices I worked in. I think you would see some of Sikandar Saab's impact, and even Sohail and Pasha's work. When I came back, obviously they were really doing great work. They still are doing. So you would see the influences. During this while also I was exploring, and I was looking for something which I really want to do myself. But these were the influences I had in the very beginning of my career. I started off with sort of subtle modulation or intents in an established traditional forms. I got this opportunity to do a mosque where I expressed what I felt about architecture. This is a mosque in G10 Markaz. Similarly, few houses in the beginning, I broke the convention in the way that there are two-way slopes of cottages and the conventional architecture. So I just wanted to break that up and spread the two-way slopes or three or four-way slopes into slopes which really are in a triangle to each other. So these are the kind of explorations I was doing. Again, the modern influences I was more expressive. I became more bold about expressing my work. always trying to be simple, but the challenge always was there to sort of convince the client on certain things. Then there was this CD headquarter competition. I was quite young at that time and was privileged to compete with very top architects. And I remember Swell Saab was a juror there in the BCAT jury. So I was lucky to get second award. So there's like a rhythmic, hierarchical interlocking of cuboids, which I thought to do and venture. You would see the law defense impact. I had that in my mind. I wanted to sort of explore it further to develop form. Then this opportunity came to design university buildings at Shaheen Chowk on Magala Road. Again, the Air Marshal was kind enough to allow me to do some experimental work. I used the functions of the building, like the staircase, the emergency staircase, and expose it to the exterior, and use the inclinations of auditorium inside to sort of surface that on the outside of the building. So that was a sort of a plan which I developed. Again, the auditorium under space of auditorium that was also used for library and cafeteria, and the sloping roof of. So in a Telenor regional head office in Lahore, I did in 2012. That was so I sort of, moved few masses and created some terraces, some outdoor spaces, which were linked to the inside of the office. Its internal environment, reception area. There were obviously many slides, but I've just picked few. My own house, I think you will find it different from what I was doing. It was like finding solace in architecture. When you want to make your own house, you really want to be at ease and at peace. Chale. So nature was all, I preserved the nature around it and sort of perched my lines, my thoughts in that space. So, रुक जाइए, वापस करें. So this Telenor, rather Teradata's head office I did recently, not recently, I think it's been like 8 years. So again, I wanted to do different. I like to do what I did was really to bring the surfaces and use the surfaces of walls and floor and ceiling sort of flow between each other. And this is what I call as flowing across the interior spaces. Again, sort of, they had an idea of having some fun sort of space within the office, so has these sort of infinite steps, and again, the floor flowing into the walls, into the stair, and that those floors would also go to the ceilings. So it's trying to enjoy the opportunities, or enjoy the playfulness that you can do actually in architecture. This is a PF hospital on Magala Road. I think you must have seen it. Thank you. So again, it was rather a challenge for me. The air chief had wanted the building to complete in 2 years, including design. And I was given like 1 week to actually just design it and present and get it approved from Air Board. So I was lucky enough to sort of think creatively also within that very, very small time. And in fact, in that 1.5 years, I was just at the site and trying to control the contractor and things happening at site. So it was very interesting challenge. I've tried to bring the nature into the building by sort of opening the mass that we usually have and take it to the basement levels, and water and light sort of going through to the lower levels. So a house on Magala Road, again I was given a bit of free hand to do something different. So I split these layers of structure layers and created apertures. Some indoor spaces, again those lines going in. This is a mosque I did. It is a project in Sawabi, this welfare organization. So they are making a educational welfare town. So I'm doing all of the master planning and buildings within that complex. So this is one of the buildings there. It's a very small, low budget, obviously, philanthropic project, but somehow managed to get something out. Thank you. So it is like breaking of an octagon and unfolding a geometry of an octagon, and that reflected in its exterior also. This is a new campus of Air University, now under construction in H11. This is the whole concept. It will have about 15 lakhs square feet and about 10 departments, buildings. So medium rise, about 12-story buildings, and all culminating into the hostel. So I'm just put the master plan in it. So the concept is that the departments will sort of enclose or sort of border along the sports facility, and this ground plus two building would occupy that. A few projects which have not started. They have been designed but approved from CDA, and investors are waiting for some good times to come. So this is one of the buildings I've designed in the first. There's the first plot opposite St. Louis, but it's not yet built. But what I did was creating illusion in architecture with lines. So another sort of एक शौक है कि अर्थ को और ज़मीन को हम नहीं यूज़ बहुत करते. So अभी आजकल तो प्रोजेक्ट्स कर रहा हूँ जिसमें मैं I'm trying to bring the earth onto the building and being able to sort of move all over the building, which this is something new. It's happening internationally also, but to sort of venture it here, I would like to try to do that. This is a house being made on that concept. It's not complete, but I'm looking forward for this. This is that Swabi project. This is a school which is under earth. It is earthbound. It's a junior school. So the idea was to protect the students from the heat and have a cooler building for them. And the client was able to digest that idea. This is a hotel by a Japanese tourism company under construction in Skardu. So let's use the terrain of the plot to develop the form. It's just the contours being followed, and was able to sort of come up with a form also which complements the environment. For this slide, it's again a CDA approved project, but not yet started in the new blue area. The client wanted something very fluid, something very modern, something out of this, something very extraordinary in the skyline or in the urban scape. So there was we decided to bring glass from China, and this pre-made prefab glass structure will be sort of cladded on it to give a fluid. And obviously it will reflect back. This is a mixed-use building, not yet started. Again, one of those projects in the last couple of years, they have not yet started, but again, the experimentation goes on. So some motion in architecture, which I am experimenting here. These are all like 30-story buildings. This is a new project. It's under construction in Gulbarg Green. There's a lagoon of 100 canals that Gulbadeen has, about 3 plots. So one of the plot is this. So, this is a totally residential complex. So I've sort of ventured mounting of architectural forms. The project's name is The Mount. So the idea was to, sort of get inspired from the mountains and the heights. It's the one-stroke design that I thought about this project. Thank you so much. That's about it. My privilege. Thank you. So I think we should end it here, or if anything, to question answers. I hope they are easy questions. Sorry. नहीं पर्चा आउट नहीं हुआ ये ले वालेकुम
just a very basic simple one. In all those places, because whenever I see your plans, they are very simple, very to the point. But when it comes to the form, dynamic, let us know what's your overall design process. How do you start a project and how do you come to a conclusive design?
देखिए हमारी जो ट्रेनिंग है ना, बिकॉज वो भी होता है, तो ये तो मैंने शुरू से डिसाइड कर लिया था. आई विल नॉट चैलेंज फंक्शन टू द एक्सटेंट दैट इट गेट्स रिजेक्टेड और इट गेट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ क्रिटिसाइज्ड. तो इसमें थोड़ी चालाकी भी इस्तेमाल होती है. प्लान्स पहले दिखाए जाते हैं, अप्रूव करा लिए जाते हैं, और बाद में मैं दिखाता हूँ कि ये इसके ऊपर बन कह रहा है. सो लेकिन मेरे माइंड में क्लियर होता है कि मैं क्या चीज़ चाह रहा हूँ, बट आई सॉर्ट ऑफ प्ले स्मार्ट ऑन दैट. पाकिस्तान में रह के कुछ आप सीख ही लेते हैं ना. यू हैव टू बी लाइक स्मार्ट इन दिस.
See learning and how do you think it's been for you and Nasir?
हाँ, फॉर अभी जर्नी शुरू थोड़ा सा प्रेशर ले रहा है, वो मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा. आप समझाइएगा कि टू गेट इन द शूज हाउ टू गेट. नहीं समझा, आप ही समझा सकते हैं, और तो नहीं कुछ समझा सकता. तो भारत, दैट्स द ओनली डिफिकल्ट पार्ट. बाकी प्राइस इज बेस्ट, इट्स गोइंग वेल अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. अभी तो ये पढ़ के आया, तो मैं उसको कह रहा हूँ कि भी रुक जाओ थोड़ा सा. बट डिपेंड्स कि when he decides to be here or go abroad. So फिलहाल तो I'm trying to convince him to stay here.
Nasir, आपका बहुत अच्छा काम है from graduation till today, and you've been an inspiration for not only your peers but obviously the new generation. I wanted to ask you कि क्या मशवरा या पैगाम आप young architects को आज देना चाहते हैं और graduate हैं? What are the important parameters of architecture today which you want to see in the buildings of tomorrow? Thank you.
Thank you. देखिए नई जनरेशन का जो हमारा जनरेशन गैप है, वो थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है समझना. जब जिस पेस पे हम काम करते थे, सीखते थे, वो बहुत स्लो थी. वो अब नहीं है. तो ऑब्वियसली मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मेरी बात या हमारी बात शायद डाइजेस्ट नहीं होती या समझ नहीं आती. लेकिन मैं यही कहूँगा कि ये इसको नई जनरेशन अगर इसको एज इसको इस तरह ले कि ये एक जद्दोजहद है, ये इट्स नॉट अ मीन ऑफ अर्निंग मनी, या कि ये چھوٹا کوئی شارٹ کٹ نہیں ہے اس میں ٹائم لگ جاتا ہے اور وہ لگے بغیر ہوتا نہیں ہے. اس میں آپ کو مینٹورز چاہیے ہیں. یہ جو آج میرا خیال ہے دے ہیو لیفٹ دس کانسیپٹ آف گیٹنگ مینٹورشپ. وہ سب پریشرز ہیں آئی تھنک یہ جو جو لائف ہے جس طرح کی فاسٹ پیس شاید اس کے پریشرز ہیں, لیکن somehow there is a clash between this profession and the way the new world has developed. It's difficult for them. I know this is very difficult, but مجھے لگ رہا ہے کوئی طریقہ نہیں ہے but to spend time and be passionate about it.
ناصر جہانگیر ہوگا. ناصر اقبال ہمارے شہر کا میرے خیال میں نفیس ترین آرکیٹیکٹس میں سے ایک ہے, انتہائی طبیعت اور ہر لحاظ سے. اس کے بارے میں یہ کہوں گا کہ جی اس میں ایک طبیعتاً ایک ٹھہراؤ ہے جو کہ تمام بچوں کے لیے میرے خیال میں مشورہ ہونی چاہیے, سیکھنا چاہیے ہمیں. ہمارے سینئرز میں ہم نے کئی لوگوں میں یہ دیکھا ہے اور اس کی طبیعت میں ایک ٹھہراؤ ہے اس قسم کا کہ وہ اپنے کام کو جب وہ کرتا ہے تو بہت آرام سے اور بہت سوچ سمجھ کے کرتا ہے. گو کہ وہ آپ نے پریزنٹیشنز پہ دکھائیں جس میں آپ کو 2 ہفتے میں شاید 1 ہفتے میں وہ کانسیپٹ کرنا پڑا. آپ جب کہتے ہیں کہ پروسیس آپ بتا رہے تھے ان کو کہ اس میں آپ وہ چالاکیاں کرتے ہیں لیکن آپ کی طبیعت میں وہ نظر نہیں آتی ہمیں. تو اٹس اے گڈ پروسیس آئی گیس. تو what I've got to say is کہ thank you very much for the work that you've shown us, and it's a delight for all of us to come here and enjoy it, and I'm sure the younger ones feel the same way.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege for all of you to be here and sort of encourage me on this.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I'm of course having a great time at your work. You know that after the take part of one.
So am I. Yes.
Being a جتنا بھی آپ نے presentation دی ہے and I've seen your work, mostly it's bordering on contemporary, bordering کیا ہے is contemporary architecture. تو جتنا بھی آپ contemporary میں ڈیولپ کرتے ہو, کبھی غلط یہ نہیں ہوا کہ کوئی بہت ٹریڈیشنل کوئی بلڈنگ بنائی جائے جس میں کہ آرچز ہوں اور کوئی بہت زیادہ کریشن اس میں ٹپک رہی ہے, کوئی کبھی شوق ہوئے اس طرح کا؟
ساما آپ کا کام میرا دل کرتا ہے کرنے کو اس طرح کا کام, لیکن ہمت نہیں. اس میں مطلب اس کا دیر از اے ریزن فار اٹ. وہ یہ ہے کہ آئی تھنک دا کلاسک ورک از ریئلی ہارڈ ورک فار می, اور وہ اتنی جو اٹ نیڈز اے لاٹ آف پیشنس. اور دوسرا یہ ہے کہ بہت ارلی میں نے آئیڈینٹیفائی کر لیا تھا. میرا یہاں ایک دوست بھی آیا ہوا ہے شاہد خان, ڈیٹیلنگ کرتا تھا, تو میں نے اس وقت ہی ڈیسائڈ کیا آئی کانٹ ڈو دس. سو آئی تھنک میں نے راستہ بڑی جلدی, لیکن میرا دل کرتا ہے کبھی میرے اندر اور پیشنس. وہ جو جہانگیر کہہ رہے ہیں کہ وہ نظر نہیں آتا, وہ اندر کافی بے چینی ہے اور کافی اضطراب ہے. I try to keep that inside.
کیونکہ بہت سارے لوگ بات کرنا چاہ رہے تھے, بٹ آئی تھنک آئی ایم the only fortunate one here who knows the father and the son intimately.
Yes.
Nobody knows the son as being my student. I was his thesis advisor. So I think I know the son better than the father. But they both have got something in common. They're both very humble, and they're both very caring, and they both look at things before taking a step. They're both very cautious. You may see Nasir's work, which is also very cautious. The son is also very cautious. And they look at things before venturing into something which is very good. They look at the pros and cons, they look at things, they evaluate things, and they always take the correct decisions. So that is one good thing about them. And Nasir was talking about function, but he's very good in aesthetics. he's got a very good aesthetic feel about it instinctively, which you don't get just like that. I mean, function anybody can do. I think any stupid architect can do function. So I don't think there's anything, but I think it's the aesthetics of Nasir's which are very good, which are timeless, and which are fine. And now Asad has come from the AA, he's done his work in perimeter.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Nasir. हमारे दो क्लास फेलोज बैठे हुए हैं, साइंस जर्नी को हम बड़ा एंजॉय कर रहे हैं क्योंकि हमारे टीचर भी थे और हम वो लम्हों को याद कर रहे हैं. मैं सिर्फ ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि शुरू से ही नासिर ऐसे ही ठहरा वाला बंदा था, है ना? तुमने भी कुछ कहना है तो कहो. We really appreciate you. We are proud of you.
Thank you, Fazia. Thank you so much.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम नासिर.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम. आहिस्ता आहिस्ता थोड़ा
मैं
आहिस्ता, ज़्यादा नहीं सुनानी.
When we were together in the school, we started together in the school and finished in the same office, but in Shogunwal Raja, which is like, I must say, the maestro, जिसने हमें functionality के बारे में, building functionality के बारे में बहुत कुछ सिखाया. शुरू में when we graduated, it was other way around. I was like more flamboyant, more sort of like playing with the form and things like that. In the passage of time, things changed. Nasir developed his side into this kind of architecture. I become very minimalist or this kind of architecture. So I'm doing minimalistic, but I'm doing classical also. I think if you do the classical building, which is the basic of any architecture, so you should know that, and if you know that, you can do anything in the world. So hats off to Nasir, he's transformed himself into a form, into a shape, into a type of architecture which is more, I must say, dynamic and statement. और शुरू में ऐसा नहीं था, ये बाद में डेवलप हुआ है. शुरू में बड़ी about his personality is always been like this. Very light, very humble, very quiet, and a good sportsman. So that sportsman instinct I can see in his building. I must say that. So congratulations of giving us such a beautiful building, and I must say your building is sort of a catalyst, urban catalyst. जब ये बनेगी तो it will change the environment and the skyline. और best of luck to you.
Thank you, Shahid. Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you very much. बड़ी अच्छी प्रेजेंटेशन की और अच्छे प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए. मैंने कहा कि आप बहुत खामोश हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल है खामोश हैं इसलिए इतना शोर बिल्डिंग में मचता है, इसलिए उसकी फॉर्म बड़ी डायनामिक है. और अगर आप गिटार बजाते रहते तो शायद बहुत कुछ निकल जाता है. आपको टोटल बिल्डिंग में नजर आ रहा है, राइट? बताएं कि with all these forms, आपको कभी हैंडीकैप फील होता है और मटेरियल जो सीधे पाकिस्तान में अवेलेबल?
हैंडीकैप इस सेंस में कि अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ मटेरियल या यूज ऑफ मटेरियल? अच्छा, इसमें मेरा वैसे आप देखेंगे मेरे फोटो नहीं है मटेरियल्स बहुत ज़्यादा. मैं सिर्फ आप पत्थर, ईंट और कंक्रीट के अलावा नए हॉस्पिटल में ये मैंने एक सोचा था कि मैं लुकर पैनल करूं, लेकिन लुकर पैनल जो है वो फेड हो जाता है, स्वे कर जाता है. तो फिर मैंने कास्ट करवाया चाइना से और इंपोर्ट करवाया कि आई डोंट वांट एनी सोइंग और बेंडिंग. तो लेकिन मटेरियल पे मेहनत का या एक्सपीरियंस को इस्तेमाल करने का मेरा शुरू में प्रॉब्लम ये होता था कि मेरे पास कोई हाई एंड क्लाइंट्स नहीं होते थे, मतलब जो कॉस्ट ऑफ मटेरियल को अफोर्ड कर सकें. और दूसरा ये होता था कि मैं सोचता था कि जब तक ये बिल्डिंग बनेगी पता नहीं वो मटेरियल लगेंगे कि नहीं लगेंगे. सो मैं एक्चुअली थोड़ा सा मटेरियल्स को ना बहुत कमिट नहीं करता था, अपने आप के लिए भी और क्लाइंट के लिए भी. लेकिन मुझे ये पता था कि मेरी बिल्डिंग फॉर्म अचीव हो गई तो इट वुड डू माई जॉब, इट वुड हैव डन इट. सो आप ये अगर देखेंगे ये क्लैडिंग्स हटा भी दें तो इट्स दे आर ओके फॉर मी.
डीलिंग करना पड़ी कि नहीं मैं थोड़ा सा अपना डिज़ाइन चेंज कर लेता हूँ, आप ये कर दें, ऐसे कोई किसी बिल्डिंग में
नहीं. वो इस तरह है कि जो स्ट्रक्चर इंजीनियर्स हैं ना वो एक नहीं है, वो 3-4 हैं. और जो जिसके साथ मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है और जो ज़्यादा ब्रेव हैं या करेजियस हैं, जब मेरा डिज़ाइन ऐसा हो तो मैं उनके पास फिर भेज देता हूँ. तो ہر انجینئر کی اپنی لمٹس ہیں, پیرامیٹرز ہیں. So I just stretch their limits to what they can actually deliver. So cantilevers کے لیے ویسے آپ دیکھیں cantilever زیادہ نہیں ہے. ہاں وہ تو ہیں, انجینئرس کے لیے مشکل نہیں ہوتا, they can do it. لیکن یہ ہے کہ تھوڑا چیلنج جب ہوتا ہے تو there are types of engineers which I prefer. وعلیکم السلام.
Sir, I just wanted to know, are there any recent contemporary architects that you follow internationally? I see a very strong progression in your work, which is going towards more the international contemporary style. So, is there something, جیسے آپ نے پہلے پوری اپنی وہ ہسٹری دکھائی from what you saw and everything, تو آج کل ایسی کوئی چیز ہے which fascinates you?
دیکھیں میں نے کچھ سلائڈس لگائی تھی انٹرنیشنل آرکیٹیکچر کی, تو دیکھیں دا بولڈنیس اینڈ دی ایکسپیریمنٹیشن دے ڈو, وہ تو فیسینیٹ کرتی ہے, آپ کو بھی کرتی ہوگی. اور لیکن ہمیں اپنی لمٹس بھی پتہ ہیں, پاکستان کی کنڈیشنز بھی پتہ ہیں. تو انفلوئنس اس حد تک ہوتے ہیں کہ آپ اسپائر ضرور ہوتے ہیں, لیکن اٹ ڈزنٹ سورٹ آف انسپائرز می ٹو دا لیول کہ ہمیں کچھ ان کے کلوز کوئی چیز کرنی ہے. وہ یہاں کے لمٹ میں رہتے ہوئے کر سکتے ہیں, لیکن یس وہ لائنز یا وہ جو جیسے ابھی سر ذکر کر رہے ہیں پیرامیٹرکس کا کام ہو رہا ہے, جو ڈائنامزم اب بالکل نئی شیپ لے رہا ہے. تو میرا تو اوبیسلی آئی ایم دا ٹائپ آف آرکیٹیکٹ جو مجھے نئی چیز کرنا پسند ہے. آئی وانٹ ٹو ڈو اینی تھنگ نیو, اور چیلنج اچھا لگتا ہے کرنا لینا.
It's really nice to see your projects. سب سے انٹرسٹنگ بات یہ ہے کہ موسٹ آف دا پروجیکٹس میں نا جو بلڈنگ اسٹائل ہے وہ چینج ہو رہا ہے. It's really nice to see these the dynamic side you do. ایک میرا کوشچن تھا کہ ریگارڈنگ دا مٹیریلس, whenever you decide the materials, exterior پہ انٹیریئر میں بھی, so apart from aesthetics اور اس کی ویژول جو ہے پریزنس اس سے, is there a process involved behind these materials, about the research, or apart from the projects, is there a phase behind using each material?
جی ابھی ریلیٹڈ کوشچن ہے مٹیریلس کا. دیکھیں اگر پروجیکٹ کا نیچر ہے نا, جو لائک ریزیڈنس ہے, ہاؤس ہے, اس میں اسمالر اسپیسیز ہیں, مٹیریل کی پریفرنس آف کلائنٹ بھی ہے, آپ کی بھی ہے. سو آئی تھنک آئی گو ود دا کلائنٹ کہ وہ بھی جن مٹیریل سے کمفرٹیبل ہے تو اس میں کام کر لیتے ہیں. لیکن بگر پروجیکٹس میں آئی ڈیسائڈ بیکاز کلائنٹ اس لیول پہ نہیں سوچ رہا ہوتا, یا اس کو آپ ہی گائیڈ کرتے ہیں. تو بڑے پروجیکٹس میں مٹیریل کی سوچ فرق ہوتی ہے, اس کا بجٹ دیکھا جاتا ہے, کاسٹ پر اسکوائر فٹ آپ میں پہلے بتا دیتا ہوں. کلوز آر کوشچنس. تھینک یو سو مچ. آئی ایم ریئلی گریٹفل ٹو آل آف یو اینڈ IAP اینڈ Abdullah Khan. Thank you so much.
Our chairman, Rawalpindi-Islamabad chapter, Architect Abdullah Khan, to please come on stage and share his thoughts on that today.
Thank you very much, Madam Honorary Secretary. There were a few remarks about architect Nasir Iqbal being humble. But I can tell you this, he is here not because he is humble. He is here because he is great. He is here because his style is international, and the projects that we just witnessed over here are world class. I would also like to draw your attention so that we can inspire some more confidence in the IAP. According to our tradition, we are going to bring to the forefront our activities. We are going to promote our field, and we wish to become at the helm of the built environment. We are currently facing a lot of challenges, but with your help, with the fraternity, with our partners, we are trying to be at the helm of the built environment. I would like to thank again our sponsors. Dr. Saab aaye hain from Sardar. Dr. Saab, I'd like to welcome you. Dr. Saab was not available earlier, so I'd like to I'd also like to thank Benito's for here. They have also done a little presentation for you. We would like you to have a look at their products, old range and new. Dr. Saab has also brought quite a lot of paraphernalia with himself. We would like you to have a look at their product as well. And thank you very much. Soup and tea is served to your left, and we are still going to linger around. There's going to be a photo op over here. Before I close, I would also like to bring to your attention and inspire some confidence from our sponsors. We are going to do great events here. We are going to make Islamabad the capital. City is going to host a lot of events. We are doing a lot of partnerships with the CDA, bringing you events. We have recently, we're in the process of doing an MOU with the Emarat Design Studio. Thank you very much for coming. Yesterday, 8 of their architects became IAP members, so the drive is on, our partnerships are on, and we would like you to keep supporting us. Inshallah, 2024 will be the year of the architect. Thank you very much.